GWATA TV gives you a first look at North Central Washington's business news. You'll hear from our local business, tech, and education companies as Jenny discusses hot topics and current events with some of the best innovators and pioneers in North Central Washington.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Jenny Rojnasatian, your host for GWATA TV, and it's great to be with you here today. On today's episode of GWATA TV, we're going to be talking about the Flywheel Investment Conference. On April 19th, GWATA hosted this first annual conference that celebrated and connected entrepreneurs, investors, students, and community. Presented by Microsoft, Confluence Health, Moss Adams, and Ogden Murphy Wallace, the Flywheel Conference was a full-day event, started at 9 a.m. and went all the way up till 8 p.m. And throughout the day, there was educational seminars presented by both Moss Adams and Ogden Murphy Wallace. There was an investor panel which talked about building resources and tips for angel investing. We had a premier keynote luncheon in which Howard Wright, founder and chair of Seattle Hospitality Group, and Diane Freeman, partner at Voyager Capital, shared their thoughts and feedback for the Wenatchee community and what North Central Washington can learn from their experiences in both Seattle and Portland, respectively. Immediately following the luncheon, we then moved into the company competition. And that's what today's episode is really going to focus on. During the company competition at the Flywheel Investment Conference, 6 companies competed for the chance to receive a $100,000 investment award and a $5,000 audience prize. These companies were narrowed down from a pool of over 28 applicants who applied from across Washington state. We had companies ranging from Pullman, Washington, to Bellingham, to Port Townsend, who all wanted to come into Wenatchee for this chance to compete. During the competition, local angel investors grilled these 6 startups about their plans for the future, what they would do for the funding, and why they had a great business plan. After the company competition, there was a short break, and then the conference moved to the BPOE ballroom, where the winners of the 2 awards were announced. And today, I'm pleased to let you know that Will Clausen, CEO of Cartogram, was the $100,000 investment award winner, and Nicola of Strive Tech was our $5,000 audience favorite. Today's episode will feature Will Clausen. We'll catch up, hear how he's doing since the conference happened, learn a little bit more about his company. But to provide some context about this dynamic and full day, we're going to let our friends at North 40 share a few of those moments. They were on site to capture the connections and the spirit of the conference. And welcome back to GWATA TV. On today's episode, we are featuring the winner of the Flywheel Investment Conference, Will Clausen, CEO of Cartogram. Cartogram is a software company, but I'm going to let Will talk more about his business. So welcome, Will. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I appreciate the invitation. So Cartogram is an indoor location services company. We specialize in indoor and outdoor wayfinding. And really, our software navigates anyone from anywhere to anywhere, inside, outside, and between buildings.
So let's talk about the inspiration for developing this company. Why is wayfinding a problem inside of buildings? Why did you seek to bring this solution to businesses?
It's a good question. So early on, I just really thought that indoor maps were interesting. I thought that there would be a big market there, if I decided to actually pursue the business. And so I just kind of started tinkering around on the side, and I realized that we kind of had something cool. Early on, we thought that retail was going to be a really important vertical for us. And as it turns out, it's really the hospitals, the sports venues, and also the college campuses that seem to have the most need. I can speak specifically more towards the healthcare vertical today, because that's really where our core focus is. The issue that they have is patient experience is a really big problem. It's something that Medicare is taking a look at right now and saying, hey, if patients have a bad experience, you're not going to get your full Medicare reimbursement based on the survey results that folks take after they leave a hospital. So what we do is we go in, we improve the patient experience, we reduce the amount of time that staff is taking answering questions about wayfinding. And at the end of the day, the hospital's going to make more money, they're going to save some money, and everybody's going to be a lot happier.
During the Flywheel conference, you made an interesting analogy about directions from, what was it, California or the West Coast to New York versus directions within even just maybe one hospital system, how complex it is to get from the parking lot into, say, a radiology department. Explain a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. So there's multiple floors, multiple buildings, these huge campuses for these healthcare systems. And if you were to go, say, from the first floor and the entrance to the second floor radiology department at a large hospital, the number of turns or the number of directions that you would take to get there is the same as the number of turns it would take to go from California to New York. And so I wouldn't go up to you and say, hey, Jenny, can you just like write that down on a Post-it note for me, how to get from California to New York? That would be crazy, right? And so that's where Cartogram can come in.
Right. And now, how did you get here? What is your personal background? So now you've developed a software company that's solving a problem not only in healthcare systems, as you mentioned, but indoor maps across many verticals. What experience did you bring to build this company? Tell us a little bit more about you.
Sure. So early on, as a teenager, I sold credit cards and romance novels over the phone. And that's kind of where a little bit of my sales background comes from. But over time, I evolved. I went to school at KU. I went to the School of Engineering. I got my computer science degree. And since then, I've worked at companies like Hewlett-Packard. I was also at Samsung, where I filed more patents than any other engineer in a lab of over 300 people. And most recently, I was at Microsoft Research, where I helped Microsoft solve some of their global cloud efficiency issues. And so I think this unique combination of sales and intellectual property and engineering background, that was kind of the foundation that I used to help build the company to where it is today. Of course, we have a great team, so I can't take all the credit, but that's kind of how things got started.
And you're still a young company, so you founded in 2014. And now you've brought on, as you mentioned, team members along the way. So let's talk a little bit about your team dynamics and what makes Cartogram set up for success.
I think that we've onboarded talent in some key areas, and the folks that we've onboarded have stayed with us for the long haul. As an example, we have a group that does our maps and our creative, basically the creative design for all of our maps. That's why Cartogram looks and feels so much better than anything else out there. And they've been with us since 2014, since the very beginning. Our engineers, average tenure for our engineers is almost equal to the lifetime of the company. And then, of course, we have Davis Johnson. Davis helps out with business development, and he's leading several key deals for us. So it's a combination of these skill sets that have helped us get to where we are today.
Well, it's time for a commercial break, so we're going to pause here with our interview with Will. When we get back, we're going to dive a little bit more, show you some graphics of what Cartogram software looks like, its applications, and then talk about the Flywheel conference and what Will's plans are for the future. So stay tuned. And welcome back to GWATA TV. We're here today with the CEO of Cartogram, Will Clausen, who's sharing a little bit about his company as well as his experience at the Flywheel Investment Conference. So Will, we shared a little bit about your background before break and your experience. Let's dive into your product and show the audience a little snapshot of Cartogram. Walk us through.
Sure. So this is actually a live demo video for Vidant Medical Center. It's kind of a demo reel. It shows some of the services that we offer. Here we're going through what the directions look like. So this person's navigating from the cafeteria to 2 West. And it shows the turn-by-turn directions as the person kind of walks through. It's not a live demo, so someone's not actually on site while they're creating this demo video, but it shows what the experience might look like. So maybe now the camera will kind of turn, it'll go over here to the first floor and show some of the search capabilities for how you get through the building. This is a category-based search, so you can take a look at the different things based on their category inside the floor plans. There's lots of services that Cartogram offers outside of healthcare, but really we're an indoor and outdoor wayfinding company. So we get people to the place that they need to be, whether that's on a different floor or inside of a different building, or even for sports venues to the cheeseburger that has the shortest line.
Which is a real priority when you're on a halftime break, right?
Yeah.
These are things that are critical. And let's talk a little bit about your company's plans for the future. So you recently won the Flywheel conference. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What are your next steps? What are you looking forward to as you build and grow Cartogram?
Well, I think we're going to go out there and we're going to get 100 hospitals. We have a few right now. We'd like to see 5, 6, 7 by the end of this year. And the money's great. We're going to onboard a marketing person, somebody full-time, to really take the reins on all the different ways that we can market this company. Things that maybe I'm not the best at or other team members aren't comfortable handling full-time. Somebody who really has experience in healthcare and can do the job right. So we're actively sourcing that lead right now.
And for companies like Cartogram and the ones that applied at the Flywheel conference, growing is, it's an ongoing basis, right? You're not a one-time winner of the conference and then you're done. So this is about a continuation to continue to grow. Do you see your company staying in Washington State? Do you see your company expanding further? What are your long-term goals for Cartogram?
Well, in terms of our customer base, we have folks all over the place who are asking about our services. We have 3 of the largest and most well-known venues in Australia that we're talking to right now. It's just kind of the way that things turned out for us. But of course, we'd like to stay here in Washington State. We have some investors in Wenatchee now. Of course, we'll be out there from time to time. I hear you guys have some good mountain biking. I think that over time, in terms of our customer base, maybe we'll expand internationally. But also we want to stay focused with our resources and really focus on the U.S. customers for now, maybe with a few customers out of the States from time to time.
Okay, great. You mentioned your investors in Wenatchee. So as a winner of the Flywheel conference, tell the audience, how was your experience out here in Wenatchee? Did you enjoy your time? What was the competition like? Give us a little bit of background.
I can't believe you guys gave us a free hotel room. I keep telling you. But that was awesome. Everybody was very nice, great hospitality. I think that this isn't the first pitch event that we've done, and not that we haven't had a good experience at other events, but the way that things were put together, the conciseness of the schedule, the hospitality of everybody who was involved, it was exceptional. The after party and the dinners and the speaker, Diane, she's great, gave a great speech there on stage. So we had a great time, and we're looking forward to coming back. Maybe not necessarily to the next competition, but certainly to chat with everybody there. We actually onboarded, or we're in the process of onboarding a call center there in Wenatchee for kind of satisfy some of the things that we need to do on our side to make sure we support our customers in the best way possible.
Yeah, so it's building those support services around what Cartogram needs to grow and thrive. So I'm glad to hear that you made that business connection while you're here and can bring on some of the Wenatchee tech partners into the Cartogram family.
I heard that the other the other company, they're onboarding the manufacturing group that's there too. So it seems like there's a lot of opportunities there in Wenatchee.
Yes, Strive Tech, which
Right,
their
yeah.
product is measuring performance in sports attire, is looking to move some of their manufacturing into Wenatchee as well. So it's that connectivity, I think, between Seattle and Wenatchee that makes us unique and makes us prime for partnerships. It's a short drive, right? Beautiful 2.5-hour drive over here, and a lot of resources. Well, it's time again for a quick break. Stay tuned, and we're going to wrap up here with Will as we talk more about Cartogram and the Flywheel Investment Conference. Welcome back to GWATA TV. For our final segment today, we're with Will of Cartogram. He's going to talk a little bit more about his business and how his business is providing a solution to hospitals and for wayfinding that's unique. You have your own unique competitive advantage in terms of the other software available. So, Will, let's dive right into that. Tell us about Cartogram in terms of what makes your business plan unique, what's your competitive advantage, and why hospitals are quickly signing up to work with you.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Early on, we thought that just having an app was going to be the solution that would solve a lot of these problems. And actually it is, but there's a lot of folks who aren't going to download an app or might not even know that an app exists for a particular hospital. So what we've done is we've created a suite of services that all hook into the same platform. So that means that it doesn't matter if you want to download an app or if you just want to talk to a receptionist, or even if you're lost and you do need to talk to a staff member about where to go inside of the building, all of those can be enabled or improved with Cartogram software. So that means that we have the app. We also have the ability to integrate into a hospital's website and actually show turn-by-turn directions there. We have the ability to enable a chatbot. So this is a SMS chatbot. Anybody can use it from any device. You just type in a short code. So as an example for Vidant, I think the short code is 843268. That actually represents the VIDANT. And you can say, where is the emergency room? Or you can text it app, and we'll send you back links to the app. You can even ask for directions. You can say directions from radiology to the cafeteria. And Cartogram will text you back and show you an image with a route on it and also the turn-by-turn directions where you need to go. If I were to kind of combine all these things together and tell you about a patient journey, this actually came up during the conference. Somebody might go to the parking garage and go to the front door of the hospital and go to the receptionist. And the receptionist can actually print out directions for every single patient that walks through the front door. If the patient doesn't stop at the front desk, maybe they'll see a kiosk along the way and they can print out directions for themselves. There's also going to be signs throughout the building that say, are you lost? Text 12345 to help get where you need to go or ask it a question. And of course, there'll be lots of signs throughout the building letting the patient know that that app is available to them. Another thing that is overlooked, I think, is that even though the staff inside of a hospital, they're there all day and probably they know the building fairly well, a lot of the times they stay in the same area for the course of the day. So they might not know very specific details about other areas of the hospital. So Cartogram can actually empower those folks to help somebody else, like a patient or maybe a new staff member, find their way, as opposed to the patient going up to somebody, asking them a question, and then them not knowing and having to go ask maybe 2 or 3 other people. One more thing I'd add to that is we've enabled permission-based routing. So a doctor or a nurse might have different areas inside of the building that they can go compared to a patient, and we can enable the routing with different routes for different people.
I see. So if you're an employee or you're in a certain department, you can customize that route efficiency for those staff.
Exactly, and even better than that, we can customize the visibility of content inside of the building. There's a question, I think, at the conference, about, differences between Google Maps, and I've covered a lot of those. But one great example is you probably don't want your patients navigating to the nuclear safe inside of the hospital. So we can enable permission-based visibility of content like a nuclear safe so that only people who have the privilege or permission to view those things can actually see them when they log in.
And when you're talking about the lost revenue potential for hospitals because of wayfinding problems, right? On average, I think you mentioned someone gets asked 2 to 3 times a day per employee for wayfinding. And so when you add that up, what you're able to offer to a hospital is a real bottom line savings.
Yeah, actually, it's a huge amount of money that they're spending just helping people find their way. And a lot of the times a patient, if they're not just going to go up to one person, that person probably, maybe there's a coin flip that they will know where the patient needs to go, and so then they'll have to go ask somebody else. If all the staff members are enabled and empowered to see everything inside of the hospital and help the patient find their way, then of course then we're going to be able to lower that number. And also, it's not just the cost savings for time. It's also the Medicare reimbursements and the HCAP surveys, so we can improve the patient experience, and that can actually tie back to the top line.
Well, and when you think about customer service, right, I don't think many people would say they're excited to go to the hospital or that they're looking forward, right, to maybe a complex doctor's appointment. So for the hospital to be able to provide a better level of care and customer service, I'm sure makes a huge impact in the lives of those patients.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Will, we want to encourage our viewers to connect with you. Check out Cartogram, of course, online, their website. Find Will on LinkedIn, but Will's also available at will@indoormaps.com. So if you are interested in learning more about his business or providing some support, we definitely encourage you to connect with our 2018 Flywheel Investment Conference winner, and we look forward to having Will back, hopefully live in studio the next time he's in Wenatchee, as well as at next year's conference. So thank you, Will, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on GWATA TV. We're going to have a quick preview of next week's episode when we get back. Well, it's time to wrap up today's episode of GWATA TV. I don't want the learning about the Flywheel Investment Conference to stop. I encourage you to go online and find out information about all 6 companies who presented. These 6 companies are innovative, they're exciting, they're all providing unique solutions within technology, healthcare, even sports. You can go to flywheelconference.com to find more information on Cartogram, StriveTech, and our 4 other finalists, as well as information about the supporting sponsors of the Flywheel Conference. We want to thank Ogden Murphy Wallace, Moss Adams, Microsoft, Confluence Health for their presenting sponsorship, along with our economic development partners, Port of Chelan County, Port of Douglas County, and our media sponsor, North 40 Productions. The Flywheel Investment Conference is already being planned for 2019, so I encourage you to save that date. It's going to be April 18th, 2019, right here in downtown Wenatchee, where we'll bring in another group of young companies to present. Thanks for joining us on GWATA TV, and we'll see you next time.
Since 1999, GWATA has served as North Central Washington's Tech Alliance. As a 501c3, our mission is to bring people and technology resources together to create a thriving community. Through our work, we aim to inspire, engage, and connect.